No, what you're saying
How am I gonna say? How am I gonna say like there's a company in China and then they'll? Welcome to YouTube's favorite K-pop show, DK News. David,
today we have lots of
hot as tea.
First off, we have a Spycam incident found in a women's restroom in KBS installed by a comedian working at KBS.
Again. Second, we have Dispatch versus BTS. Well, what's going on?
Last but not least, we have K-pop fan cams combating anti-Black Lives Matter movements. And on to the first news. Okay, so a spy cam was found in a woman's restroom in KBS, and it was installed none other than by a comedian working at the very TV station. On May 29th, a spy cam was found in the building of KBS, the women's restroom, disguised as an external battery charger. This hidden camera was discovered by a KBS PD and was reported to the police. The perpetrator, a comedian at KBS who set up that camera, later handed himself over to the police on June 1st. I guess he got scared. Apparently, he went on sick leave as soon as people started coming in and looking through the CCTVs.
That's pretty obvious.
He was like, "Oh my god, I'm actually kind of sick."
He was
and then he handed himself.
I'm ducked.
Right. I mean, he's dumb. Initially, KBS denied reports that this was done by their employee. Well, this is technically true. Okay, the comedian was under a freelancer contract at KBS, so technically under Korean law, he's not considered an official employee of KBS. You know what the funny thing is? This person, he was hired, he debuted under KBS's comedy show called Gag Concert.
Yeah, that's like a national program.
Right.
They have a national audition as well.
And the only TV show that he appeared in his entire career was that KBS program.
So much for freelance.
And he was still appearing on the show. Regardless, the general public has been heavily criticizing the TV station for evading any responsibility from this incident, and they later kind of owned up to it. Now, this is already kind of dumb, but it gets dumber because the comedian's face was actually shot on the spy cam that he has set up while he was installing it in the restrooms. What a fucking dumb idiot and a disgusting guy. The KBS comedy show that he was appearing in, Gag Concert, actually just ended. It's a 21-year run.
Thank God.
Actually, the last recording of that show happened on June 4th. So that was like 3 days after this happened. What a way to go out. None other than a spy cam incident. And it ended his 21-year run on TV because no one gave a shit about it. It's not funny anymore. You know, it's like really dumb.
Wait, 10 years ago, I literally watched this program every Sunday with my dad. But as time went, YouTube became popular, and then TV became unpopular.
Right. And people got used to more extreme forms of media.
And raw content, rather than scripted and planned stand-up comedy and stuff like that.
So it's basically like the SNL. You know, SNL in America, no one likes it. This is probably the most attention anyone's given to this program in the past decade. Has anybody given a shit about Gag Concert the past decade?
Well, it has excavated a lot of star comedians. Like these comedians are doing well. Yeah, doing well on other programs, and they're very well known. So I guess it's like a incubation program.
Yeah, and it also incubated this Spycam guy. Now, this guy is under investigation, and we will have to see how this all turns out. But in the meanwhile, if you want to see this guy's face and his name, quick Google search with KBS hidden camera will be enough to show his face and name.
Why would anyone want to see his face?
Just to check, you know, who is going around doing these spy cam incidents.
You're gonna get like big data on how people use spy cams look, and then avoid people
that look like that.
Okay.
And now, due to strict defamation,
you kind of look similar.
I know.
You have glasses. You're
kind
Korean.
of look similar, actually. Due to strict defamation laws under the Korean legal system, it's illegal for us to reveal the identity of this person, which is kind of dumb because it's everywhere. But so please understand our position. We want to expose this motherfucker as well, but we can't because we'll be sued.
Okay, next news. Is Dispatch declaring war to BTS?
Oh no.
Did Big Hit not wire enough money?
No, don't say that.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, right?
No, we're now gonna get
this is not true at all.
That
is not true at all. But for sure, that was just a joke, to be clear. And this is not true at all. I was just joking because I've seen a lot of these jokes on the internet. I just wanted to make myself my don't sue me, Big Hit or Dispatch. That was just a joke. I believe you all know about Dispatch by now, the infamous K-pop paparazzi-ish entertainment news outlet, which is famous for bringing many exclusive articles,
aka stalking articles,
about idols dating and all. Well, they're not. If you put it into ratio, it's going to be like 5%.
95% of the time they're just
like
normal
entertainment
entertainment news, but then 5% they're stalking.
Yeah, and those are the ones that cause the problems. So back to the Dispatch versus Big Hit frame. Let's see what has been going on for the past few months. Well, it first started with Dispatch's exclusive article about the 97 line visiting Itaewon, which has proven to be inaccurate after all, because the 97 line had visited before the time Dispatch stated they had visited in its article. And at that time, when the article was released, naturally, Jungkook being Jungkook, most of the attention was headed towards Jungkook, and thus he received way more criticism than the other members, despite not having no activities at all after the Itaewon visit, while the other members had even actively engaged with schedules at TV stations, music programs, and all. And by the way, yesterday Jungkook apologized personally to the fans on Suga's radio for his behavior. Now, fans were already kind of mad at Dispatch even at this point for the 97 line. It didn't seem like Dispatch had a specific agenda at that time on Big Hit or BTS, because the 97 line was a group of people. It was like 4 people, so it wasn't specifically targeting Jungkook. Nevertheless, Dispatch decides to do another article about BTS. This time it was Suga. When the controversy of Jim Jones' speech being sampled in Suga's recent song 어떻게 생각해 was brought up, shortly after Dispatch published an article questioning if Suga really didn't know about sampling Jim Jones. And that article was kind of weird because there were no facts, there was nothing, there was just a narrative. And
supposedly investigative journalism, but there was not a lot of investigation.
Yeah, they were just throwing the question like, did he really not know? And then they just caused a lot of like controversy, and that's it. This was rebutted immediately by Big Hit sticking to their original statement that Suga didn't know, and the fire seemed to be extinguished. Then, weirdly enough, a few days later, another thing happened. Dispatch suddenly erased all the posts and stories of BTS on their Instagram account. And the photos and highlights of BTS were public on the account for over 2 years. So it was weird that they'd suddenly take them down, considering the timing and all. And many fans are speculating that something is going on between the relationship of Big Hit and Dispatch, considering all the recent chain of events. So Dispatch has actually kept a relatively okay image and relationship with BTS until recently.
Actually, they were really on good
They were
terms.
very BTS friendly. And they put out very high quality photos, good interviews, and never really exposed BTS for anything bad or private. No dating scandals and all. On a side note, Dispatch also did an oopsie recently. Hashtagging All Lives Matter on their post supporting Black Lives Matter.
Pick one.
And they erased the post after receiving tons of backlash. Nobody knows if it was intentional or not, or just ignorancy.
Personally, I think it was intentional, because I'm gonna say they do know their shit. Like they do a lot of research into shit, right? Like they're not like dumb, okay? They may be stalkers, but they're not dumb.
You saw a Big Hit using Jim Jones, so
Dispatch knows their shit. They know what's going on out there. They know the hashtags. They're not f***ing dumb. They did it because they wanted to drive more attention, more traffic. Everybody's gonna hate Dispatch regardless of whether or not they're gonna support Black Lives Matter, right? So why not cause up a big fuss? Everybody in international, K-pop world is gonna be like, oh my god, Dispatch, you hypocrites, you didn't even do your research. They're gonna be outraged, and that's what Dispatch lives off of. They live off your attention.
That's a good point.
So I think it was totally intentional.
Yeah, I thought it was. I just thought it was ignorance, because I wasn't invested that much, and I just thought like, oh, this social media account manager might have not gotten the nuance, and all lives matter. Oh, it's a good thing. Like if you just think about it simply.
No. Dispatch is
no. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the hashtag itself is good, but with a person without context, all lives matter seems good. So it's like, oh, okay, I might as well put in another hashtag, and then that went bad, and then they immediately erased it. So going back to Dispatch's recently aggressive behavior towards BTS, let's go back to Big Hit. What do you think is happening behind the scenes? These are all speculations, by the way.
Geez.
We're not gonna get sued. These are all speculations.
That's
disclaimer.
not something you decide.
No,
we're not gonna get sued. These are
all speculations.
I have a lot of things that I do know, but I can't really say them.
Okay.
Because that'll
can
be
you summon
illegal.
your Big Hit shaman again? She's not.
I think
she's not responding today.
I think no. She's off work today. She's on vacation.
Okay. First of all, like I do agree that a Big Hit had a very good relationship with Dispatch, because like seeing their past behavior, they, as I said, they've exposed all the big 3 companies. It doesn't make sense, because like if they wanted to expose like the biggest of the biggest, it would have been BTS. I think the relationship has ended now, and the Instagram thing, it might have been just a simple end of contract, maybe.
I mean, was there a contract to begin with?
One thing for sure is that their relationship has gone down. You know, all the rumors saying like these entertainment companies paying Dispatch not to expose them, or Dispatch blackmailing like all these entertainment companies that if you don't give me this amount of money, I'll expose you and stuff like that. In that kind of perspective, I feel like Dispatch, seeing how successful BTS is, they got greedy and they were like,
BTS has gotten big, they're super rich, they're going through their IPO now, they're very desperate and like cleansing their image, like maintaining their image for the investors and all. This is the right time to expose them, try to trigger them and get some more money out of them. You know, let's try to leak some very weak ones, one after one, like Jungkook going to Itaewon, Suga like doing that without any facts and stuff like that. So I feel like they were trying to test the waters with Big Hit, like whether Big Hit would deliver more money or not.
By the way, this is not my opinion.
This is a conspiracy theory.
This is his opinion.
These are all rumors. They're all from the internet.
Oh, you handle your own lawsuit. Okay, so here's my theory. First of all, I don't believe in like, okay, Dispatch didn't, get enough money from Big Hit. Like that, I don't believe in that theory. Like Dispatch, they have many other sister companies. For example, there's like something in China maybe, and that company might have direct relationships with Big Hit. And I'm just gonna leave it at that, okay? So it's not like okay, you send us money so that we don't report on you. It's not that relationship.
We don't know the relationship. All I'm saying is like it
I know,
can be
but
just
I'm just
expressed
saying,
as this.
no, what you're saying
How am I gonna say like there's a company in China and then they'll
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto
Be careful here, okay? I don't want to get my ass sued. Realty is gonna drop in the after show.
Okay.
So go look forward to that after show at patreon.com/DKDKTV. And next news. I can't say this shit because
I have something to say too.
I'll be sued.
Yeah.
I'll be sued. I don't want to get my ass sued. Next news. K-pop fan cams are combating anti-BLM movements. There's a lot of things going on in America right now. Due to the death of George Floyd, which sparked a wave of Black Lives Matter movements, in this tumultuous times of protest, a highly unlikely hero has come to save the day with none other than freaking fan cams. On June 2nd, there were a few hashtags that were anti-BLM, like hashtag White Lives Matter and Whiteout Tuesday, that were circulating in response to the Blackout Tuesday that was happening the day before. However, K-pop stan Twitter quickly caught on what was going on and started using the hashtag White Lives Matter and Whiteout Tuesday while posting fan cams in order to drown out the actual posts under those hashtags. Basically, they were spamming the hashtag with random ass K-pop fan cams to a point where the hashtag White Lives Matter was trending in America on June 3rd, filled with those fan cams. And people were cheering on for the K-pop Twitter stans. Even Jordan Peele were making a tweet about it. And many people were saying they'll be standing K-pop from now on, which is probably not true. Now, as much as I hate the culture of K-pop stans putting up random fan cams in every single reply they post, it's definitely made an impact here, I gotta admit. Meanwhile, more K-pop artists have shown their support for BLM since last week, most notably BTS. Many fans were asking for BTS to speak out about their issue because they have a large American audience and they make socially aware content. Well, they did finally tweet on last Thursday on June 4th saying that we stand against racial discrimination, we condemn violence, you, I, and we all have the right to be respected, we will stand together, Black Lives Matter. It was also confirmed on June 6th that they have donated $1 million to Black Lives Matter earlier in the week, and that the transfer is currently in process. Wow, $1 million, that is...
Role models.
Yeah.
That could buy a house.
A small house.
In Korea.
Now, a lot of K-pop fans have been asking for all these K-pop idols to speak up about BLM. While some have, I think most of the industry has been relatively quiet, right, on the matter. So what is your take on this whole situation? Should K-pop artists, be talking about BLM?
Personally, I think they should. This is not just a matter of us. Like, it's about all humanity. Like, it's about a certain race being discriminated in 2020 and a certain person dying because of no reason, like out of police brutality, and it's going on for years and years. They're not just like ignoring it, or they're not just like keeping quiet because they don't know about it, but they're actively deciding to be quiet. So I think it's an active process in like, we're not going to say anything about this.
I mean, they know what's going on.
Yeah, they know what's going on. So they're actively being quiet. And I think that's the problem. At the end, nobody can force them to. If they don't want to, they don't have to. They're not obligated to or anything. But it's just sad. It's just sad and kind of disappointing that some people are not using their platforms to, spread awareness.
I saw a lot of people on Reddit, on Twitter saying,
oh, these idols don't have a voice, they can't say anything, don't, make them break their contract.
K-pop's not about politics or something like that.
I get you.
That's true too.
I get you.
Yeah.
They don't even fucking speak about Korean politics.
That's actually the real stuff.
They can't speak about their own stuff, which is actually affecting their lives directly.
Yeah.
So, to expect them to speak about something that's completely detached from the situation, kind of seems like, okay, you're kind of expecting too much from them. But at the same time, here's my take on it. If K-pop wants to stay relevant in America, I think they should speak about it. If you want to be fucking relevant, then you gotta acknowledge the elephant in the room. You can't be just like,
oh, I'll just take your money and then I'll completely ignore you until my next tour, whatever that is after Corona.
If K-pop idols want to be taken seriously, they need to step up their game. And honestly, for me, regardless of whether or not they actually feel it, it really, really disappoints me that these artists and these companies don't even have the fucking business sense to step up their game and actually use their freaking platform to say something about this. Because everything aside, whether you support this or not, purely from a business point of view, and you want to do business in America, what are you doing? Take a side, man. Right? Do you agree?
Yeah.
If you want to stay relevant. But all these companies saying, oh, it's not our problem. I don't know. That's just bullshit. Now, everybody in Korea knows about it. And we know it's happening. We know what's happening. We know everybody in America is protesting right now. So to have radio silence, that's just, you don't want relevancy at that point. All these companies that are keeping quiet, all these artists that are keeping quiet, they need to step up their game.
I don't want to rebut it in a personal aspect, but I just want to maybe provide an alternative example or scenario on why these K-pop companies might not be stepping up. Throughout K-pop history, there's been a cycle and there's been ups and downs, first gen, second gen, third gen. SM Entertainment especially has been there for the whole time. And they know how things operate. They know how the trends rise and go up and down. And I feel like SM knows that even if K-pop is growing bigger in America or whatever, the tides always go up and down. And it's easy for international fame and popularity to just
buzz out,
yeah, in a very short time period. I think this is relevant even in the K-pop industry to this day. We call it 본진, or main headquarters.
Yeah.
That meaning domestic Korean K-pop fans, because at the end, the K-pop idols do all their activities here. Right. The Korean fans are the ones who go to all the the fan meetings, the music programs, blah, 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 blah. Even if the numbers might be bigger in international areas and stuff like that, the money is flowing there. It's very easy for the hype to go down and you never know what's going to happen. So you always need to focus a lot on the 본진, the main headquarters. Don't be offended, but I'm just going to tell you the reality. A lot of K-pop fans in Korea are actually mad about the Black Lives Matter.
Well, they're not mad at the movement itself. They're just mad at that being, forced into their idols.
Yeah. For example, I follow Seulgi on Instagram. Right. And she posted a lot of posts, probably because of her contract with Converse and stuff. And she needs to post those stuff. Every single post over the first most upvoted comment was open your purse, open your wallet. And I saw hundreds of replies of Korean fans saying
shut the fuck up, why don't you open your purse? Why are you forcing her to do this?
And what's not helping is the Korean frame right now, because the Korean news is always focusing on the looting and then Korean LA K-town owners being their stores being demolished and stuff like that. Yeah. Because we're Korean people. Our news only reports about Korean damage and looting and the president of the United States. The general perspective of Black Lives Matter here in Korea isn't that positive. That affects the K-pop fans' behaviors too. SM, JYP, whatever company, them being careful is they're trying to see how the dynamics are going to work out.
Right.
If they come out with a statement with Black Lives Matter, Korean fans, will they get offended or not?
Okay.
So they're just being very careful. And at the end, as I said, you can't force anybody to say that, and the K-pop labels know that too.
Okay, so they're picking between Black fans who will be potentially offended by this.
Yeah.
And the Korean fans.
Yeah.
And they have chosen the Korean fans.
I think so.
But here's the thing. You said there will be backlash Yes, I agree. But I think with any great social movement, there will always be backlash. No one's gonna be freaking 100% approving of you. To not even have the balls to take a stand on something so basic that is, like, hey, let's all be, respected as a human race.
Okay.
Like to not even have the balls to say that to your Korean audience is fucking dumb, and that's, really taking out the respect and the relevancy of these artists. I'm not saying like like everybody should be tweeting about this shit, but at the same time, come on, like if you have a big American audience and if you know your fans are going through this experience, then you do need to talk about it. Another point is BTS, they tweeted about it. And before actually, like I saw a lot of like Black Lives Matter posts on Weverse, and Korean fans in fan communities, they were saying like, oh, why are they posting on Weverse? Why is this shit on Weverse? Like, we don't want to talk about politics here. But as soon as BTS posted about this movement, all these Korean fans began like, oh, like, okay, this is what's happening right now. They began understanding it. So the point of, these artists, they're not only supposed to be like, oh, like, we're here for you. We'll just say whatever you guys want us to say. It's not that. They're supposed to fucking make a point. They have a fucking platform. Well, why don't you use it to actually make a point than just make money off of it by tweeting whatever your fans like? You can be a great influence to this world, to your, audience, by using that platform to educate them about something that's happening on the other side of the world. But instead, you're just keeping silence and just worrying about, oh my God, these fans are going to leave me and I'm going to lose money.
But at the end, this is not my opinion anyways, but I'm just trying to provide an alternative perspective.
Yeah.
These companies are only thinking about risk management. They're thinking about the risks and the outcomes. Let's say this is an SM Idol's popularity. They have support. Their success is going to be like this. They're going to have a consistent popularity if they go on without doing anything. But if they choose something which is political, which they've never engaged into like in 10 or 20 years, like it's either going to go up or down, right?
Right.
So they're going to be like, is this worth the risk? And they're looking at the Korean media, and all that's coming out in the Korean media is like, oh, Korean K-Town owners that used all their money that they accumulated for 10 years got looted and their businesses are destroyed. And then Red Velvet comes out supporting Black Lives Matter. That's not going to make a good picture in the Korean society. And then people are going to
change the picture.
I know.
The thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If it goes in a good win, it's going to go up like very, very high. What I'm saying is, if the political, climates are very capricious, and you can't predict what's going to be the media's frame or not. And if an article comes out like,
after K-Town business owners getting looted, Red Velvet supports Black Lives Matter.
if that becomes the headline, you're socially, I think what basically the K-pop industry is choosing to do is playing safe. They're just playing safe. They're not going to take the risk. They're like, oh, we're not that hungry. We don't need that much attention anyways. We're going to be successful anyway, so let's not take the risk. Let's do what we have been doing for the last 30 to 40 years in our industry. I know how to do my shit, so don't talk about politics in front of me. That's
Actually,
what I'm
funny thing is, after BTS tweeted about it, a lot of K-pop artists followed suit.
Yeah.
Because they
saw the effect.
Okay, it's safe now.
Right.
This is what pisses me off, okay? This is why the K-pop industry can't go to the next level. They have no balls. They need some balls. They need to grow some f***ing balls to confront the realities of this world and actually exist in this f***ing reality that everybody else, in their entire audience, they just want to, like, they need to exist in that same world.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they just want to be the Disneyland. Okay, I don't want to talk about these problems. I want to be fucking Disneyland. And yeah, it's great that you're Disneyland, but you're gonna be confined to, what you are right now. Like I think, like, for K-pop to be really global, like everybody's like talking about this shit, I think it needs to fucking step up their game, grow some fucking balls, because guess what? Like, in Korea, do the general public take K-pop idols seriously? No. They consider them idols. They consider them like, basically, oh, that's what the teenagers think, they're cute and handsome. And they don't take them seriously. You know why? Because they don't talk about anything that's actually fucking relevant in this society. Like, they don't talk about Anthem. They don't talk about any of this political mess that's happening right now in Korea. They don't talk about any of that. And that's what people are actually concerned about, but they don't talk about it because they want to play it safe. They want to sell stuff, and they don't have the balls to do it. And, think about Seo. Seo was actually talked about by everybody in Korea, because he had the fucking balls to say something about the society that it had dividing opinions, but he had the balls to say it, and he had the balls to take a risk.
Yeah, while I do agree. Let
me finish my point. So if K-pop wants to be more relevant, if K-pop wants to be an actual fucking respected genre, if K-pop wants to be more than some like capitalist machine, then they need to use their fucking platform to say something. Not just this single incident, but just anything. Like literally, we have so many problems in Korea that you could use your freaking platform of these young teens and young adults that will listen to you. You can use that platform for so many different ways, but you're just using it to sell freaking fantasies and just, tie them in this Disneyland. It's a fucking disgrace. Like, you have so much potential.
Are you done? I do think in the general direction, K-pop needs to speak up about more about these issues like that are affecting our society. I do agree in the direction, but I disagree that they have to speak about every single thing in the world. Like they don't need to speak about politics to be relevant. That's bullshit. You don't need to speak about politics to be relevant in this society. You can have your own role. If you're an entertainer, you can give happiness to people, and that's enough. You're curing depression, you're giving happiness to families and all. That's your role. And if you're making money out of it and you're making a good business out of it, it's okay. I don't think K-pop idols necessarily have to be involved in politics, but it's a plus.
It'll bring them to the next level.
It's a plus, and you don't need to acquire the next level. Like
K-pop
is good. It's exponentially grown throughout the decades, and these companies are okay with it, and they're causing a lot of happiness and a lot of good joy in the world. And I think their role is being done. But if they do want to take the risk, if they want to be it themselves, you're forcing them to do it again. Right? So I don't want to force them to do politics. Like, you can stay in the Disneyland, and I think like Mickey Mouse has its role too, while whoever politician has his role. But anyways, I think it's a plus at the end. And if you want to be the strategy and risk your career of becoming political and stuff, like, you can do it. It's your choice at the end, but we can't force it to anybody, and we can't undermine the K-pop idols' roles as bringing happiness to the world.
I'm not saying anyone needs to.
It would be good for them to speak up.
It would make K-pop be respected at a different level. And as somebody who, wants K-pop to be better than it is right now. Like, I like it, but that's why I'm fucking doing these freaking videos. But I'm cheering it on. I want to support this industry to make it more relevant in the world. And for that to happen, they need someone stepping up their fucking game.
Yeah, but
what does the world remember more, Tupac or freaking NSYNC? You know what I mean?
Maybe some people have different values. Some people don't want to be Tupac.
Okay, yeah. I'm not saying they all need to be Tupac.
Yeah, but I'm just
Tupac.
saying politics shouldn't be a qualification or prerequisite condition or anything. I'm just saying if they want to go the further step, they can. They can choose them on their own. So anyways, I was just speaking in general about K-pop, the industry, detaching it independently from the Black Lives Matter incident. I do agree that many K-pop idols should speak about these kind of global issues and global human rights incidents and stuff like that. So I want to promote idols to come out to speak more about Black Lives Matters. But at the same time, like, we can't force them. Just letting you guys know that we support Black Lives Matter. We have donated, we have posted on Black Lives Matter, and I just don't want you to misunderstand my intentions on like trying to protect the K-pop industry. I'm just trying to provide an alternative aspect in the K-pop industry's viewpoint of trying to play safe. That's it. It's not my personal opinion, okay? So don't throw any hate or like stones at me like David's racist. He doesn't I'm just trying to explain what the K-pop industry might be thinking.
We get you. So if you want more of this debate, this will be continued in the DK News after show that we have on patreon.com/DKDKTV on the 9th, on Tuesday at 1 p.m. KST, Korean Standard Time. We will do a live stream debate / discussion with your opinions as well and your questions regarding the topics we discussed today in DK News. It'll be exciting. It's like a 1-hour show, and we had lots of fun last time.
Interaction. We read your comments and questions.
Go check it out at patreon.com/DKDKTV. The link is down in the below pinned comments, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.